What's up, Big Bear Nation? Welcome back to the homestead. A couple of weeks ago, we brought all of our birds, all of the chicks that we had, out here to the front pasture to start moving them on tractors. And everything was going great. We had a couple that weren't really conforming to moving with the tractor, so we had a couple of bum legs that I had to, you know, doctor up and kind of watch them for a little bit. But overall, everything's been going great until I guess it was Saturday, Sunday. I started noticing some dig marks around the one tractor that we have all of the layers growing out in. And I looked at it, wasn't too worried about it. That was my first mistake. So then I came out one morning and I had a line of just feathers. There was no body. And it looked like maybe just one bird. But then as I was moving everybody else, I found one Rhode Island just hiding over in the grass, and she came over to me like, help, put me back where I belong. So I grabbed her, put her back in the tractor, and started looking around to see if I saw any signs of anything. I didn't see any scat, just a missing bird. So I mentioned it to Carol, I mentioned it to Jason. Not sure what happened. Bird is dead. We weren't really sure what was going on. There was some digging, but we still couldn't quite figure out whether it was a cat, a dog, raccoon, whatever. So the following morning, I came out and I found at the back end of the tractor, I found a very small piece of bone. It was just the piece of bone, and I was curious, so I walked a little bit further and I found the body of a chicken. The legs had been dislocated and kind of pulled, and the head and the breast were missing. So I conveyed that information to Jason, and both Jason and Carol agreed that we needed to put out some coon cuffs, which is a target specific trap. It should catch raccoons, possum, and occasionally a skunk. At least that's what we've been told. We've never caught one in a trap before. So that evening, Carol came out here with some coon cuffs and some cat food, and we set them up along the fence because we needed something to be able to anchor them to. And what we had figured was happening was in the evening time, the chickens all would go to the back part of the tractor where there's kind of a roof, and that's where they were sleeping. Well, whatever predator it was knew that and was reaching up underneath the tractor and pulling out a bird by the leg. So that's why we saw the legs in the condition they were on that one bird with the body. So Carol set the traps right over here along the fence line, left it alone. We go to bed about 12:30 at night. Jason and I both wake up out of bed and there's this awful smell going through the house. And I don't know about y'all, but in our area right now, it's only been in the high 50s, low 60s at night. So we've been sleeping with our windows open. Well, immediately I recognized the smell. And I know what you're thinking because I mentioned it earlier. It smelled like a skunk. So I immediately shot up out of bed. Jason's like, what are you doing? Like, I have to go see if we caught something, because it was killing me that I was losing birds and I was getting birds that were injured because of legs being pulled. So I went out with my flashlight, went and looked along the fence line, but remember, I wasn't the one that set the trap, so I didn't know exactly where they were. I just knew they were on the fence posts. So I went out and I remember Jason saying to me, be careful, you don't want to get sprayed. So I was very careful. Took my flashlight, looked all down the fence line, didn't see anything. It was quiet outside, so I listened, didn't hear anything. So I went back inside. Jason says to me, well, did we catch anything? I don't know, I didn't see anything. And I stayed away from the fence line because I didn't want to get sprayed. So we woke up Carol. Carol went outside and she took a little bit longer than we would have expected her to. So I stuck my head out and I hear her scream, Mom, go get the gun. So we rode up here in the front pasture in the canine so that we could see with the headlights. And lo and behold, we caught something in the trap. Little jerk. That's a nasty smell. Now most people will recognize that right away. That's a skunk. But a lot of people are like, wait, I didn't think skunks would mess with chickens. Well, they'll mess with the eggs and they'll mess with young chickens, and that's what these were. They were small enough that they couldn't defend themselves. And so all he had to do was reach up underneath the tractor, pull a leg out, and just keep pulling until he got it. By what I can figure, chicken was probably dead before it even got out of the tractor. So we caught the skunk. We've left the traps out for a couple of days just to make sure there's nothing else. We've been keeping an eye around the tractors to make sure that there's no dig signs. And so far, the only thing that we've got going on is still a lingering smell of skunk essence, which is a beautiful smell. So we're keeping the traps out because in our experience, when you have that smell, sometimes it will lure other predators in. So we're gonna keep it out there for a little bit and keep our fingers crossed that we've eliminated the threat and these guys will be safe. Now it's really important that we do this now because eventually this area up here, we're going to be bringing our layers up here. And I really don't want a predator up here snagging chickens because they're gonna be even more open, you know, because the tractors, they're at least, you know, sealed on all sides. They have to work a little bit and dig. But with the Eggmobile, you know, we've got to rely heavily on that electric fencing. We're gonna keep an eye out for any more signs of predators. Hopefully everything will be okay. Thank you for stopping by the Big Bear Homestead. God bless. Have a nice day.